What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video, we're going to be heading over to my local flea market. Now, it's actually been about a year or two since I last went to the flea market, so I thought I would head there for a little bit of a change of scenery instead of me always going to my local EB Games or the usual stores we head to in these types of videos. Which, of course, while we're at the flea market, we're going to be checking out any Funko Pops they have and other collectibles. And if you end up enjoying this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But nonetheless, let's head over to the flea market.
Alright, so the first booth we are at is a retro video games booth. I see some Genesis games here. There's also some consoles as well. We do have a Sega Genesis right there. And on the side here, we do have some older games here, PS2. There's also GameCube with a couple of copies of Mario Kart Double Dash, which is always cool to see, because that's pretty much my favorite GameCube game of all time. And then there's some games up here like a Grand Theft Auto. There's a Simpsons one. But one thing that I found hilarious is not only is there a WCW Revenge game, but there is a Beavis and Butthead bunghole in one game, which I think that's pretty funny to see. And then over here we do have some loose figures, a couple of them actually being Funko Pops, the first one being Vault Boy from Fallout. But the one thing that actually caught my eye in this booth is a Major Chip Hazard toy from Small Soldiers. Always awesome to see some of these Small Soldiers toys that I can find out in the wild. And then speaking of more things Funko related, we actually do have some of the Pokemon Pocket Pops that you can get in the Advent calendar. A couple of them I noticed right here are Psyduck, there's Ponyta, Lucario, Munchlax. We got some of the Evolutions as well. There's a Pikachu, Bulbasaur, a Charmander, an Alakazam, and then we got a Lapras one right there. Right now we are at the Pop Century Collectibles booth, and I noticed some autographed collectibles here, including a couple of the Regan Funko Pops. There's some WWE action figures signed by Kurt Angle and Sting. Of course, some autographed Funko Pops of, once again, we got some WWE with Dude Love, which I do have the pop non-signed. We got Art the Clown, Scooby-Doo, Sonic the Hedgehog, a Pikachu by Veronica Taylor, Tokyo Ghoul, once again more WWE with Trish Stratus and Hulk Hogan, rest in peace. We also got a Jason mask that's signed, some Casper Pops, a glove signed by Mike Tyson himself, which is actually pretty cool to see. More autographed Pops like the Chase variant of Chainsaw Man. We got Kraglin, Odie, Leonardo, a Snowman Darth Vader, and then some pretty rare Pops like the OG set of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Pretty much the entire set, it looks like. Some OG Masters of the Universe, the Chase variant of the Spooky Space Kook from Scooby-Doo for the soda. And there's also the original wave of Animaniacs Pops right here, which now the newer set is set to release very soon. A Wilson Fisk for Daredevil, and we do have Chuck Norris, which has been a while since I've actually seen this pop. And then over here we do have more of a horror section with Alien, Nosferatu, some of the Black Foam Pops, which the new movie is coming out soon, so it makes sense to have a setup out like this. The Skull Bob we recently seen at EB Games, which is really cool to see this here. Trick or Treat, a setup of Sesame Street Pops with some of the older Pops, as well as having a display of the OG Big Bird with the newer Big Bird, some Powerpuff Girls, as well as Sonic the Hedgehog, some more horror related Pops with its own section with the nice sign going on. I see Michael Myers, there's some It Pops, Wednesday, of course the Netflix series, the new season came out recently, some Five Nights at Freddy's, which is cool to see. Stranger Things, the brand new season is coming out soon. Right here we do have an ad icon section with a bunch of the Foodies Pops, some of the mascots. I was pointed out a couple of these Eggo ones where we have the Eggo with toaster, as well as the Eggo waffle, just the common, not the scented Entertainment Earth exclusive. Some retro toys with the CNC, the Ouija planche, the Cookies and Cream bar, some of the Pop-Tarts mascots, which is pretty cool. The Jack box, this is the newer one. There's also some more like Mr. Monopoly, the Blue Bomber from Rockin' Sockin' Robots, Candyland, Etch-a-Sketch, Mrs. Potato Head, Simon, Stretch Armstrong, and then a bunch of like Freddy Funko related stuff as well, mixed in with everything here. And then of course you guys know me, I love me some Toy Story Pops, but it looks like all of these Pops that are here are some Pops that I actually do have in the collection already, so unfortunately, I can't get any Toy Story Pops today. And speaking of chases, we do have a Bo-Katan chase from The Mandalorian. We have the newer Poe from Kung Fu Panda, where it's all green. And then right here, we do have a glass case that is a rotating spinner of various older Pops, like the OG Rocketeer. I do see the chase variant of Shaun from Shaun of the Dead, the chase variant of the black and white Nosferatu. Dracula's right there. We do have actually, is that, hold on a second, as I look through there, yeah, I think it's Top Pops autographed Deadpool Pops, which is actually very hilarious to see because Tristan has been to this flea market many of times. And then over here, we do have a glass cabinet of some rarer Pops like Breezely. There's the black and white Michelangelo and the rest of the TMNT Pops. There's some Care Bears Pops, some Comic-Con exclusives including Gambit, that Rhino, which is not too often I see that, the Marvel Collector's Core exclusive. And then across from here, we do have a selection of anime Pops. Of course, we knew we were going to hit that at some point. Naruto, Boruto, some Yu-Gi-Oh! Right here, which once again, I think a lot of these I do have besides that Elemental Hero Neos Pop, which is actually one of the only ones I still need in my collection, so I may be able to pick that one up today. Alright, so the next booth we are at is one of the usual booths I see when it comes to Funko Pops. You probably have seen it in Tristan's videos, and one of the first ones I did notice was the Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. Hilarious to see that. We also have quite a bit of the Orange is the New Black Pops, like Crazy Eyes. What else were the ones I saw? Piper, as well as Red. I actually do have the Alex Voss that I'm trying to sell out of my collection. And then right at the top there, I did notice an Office Pop with the young Michael Scott, which unfortunately is one that I do have, so I can't pick that one up today. Over on this wall, I did notice an OG Raphael, which it's not too often that I see that pop. And then speaking of more Orange is the New Black Pops, I did notice the George Pornstache Mendes, which is hilarious to see. And as I walk down this aisle full of different collectibles and toys, I did notice a section of Funko Pops here. One of them is Loot Llama from Fortnite, which is also a pop I haven't seen in a very long time. And then right by those Pops, I actually found one of those toys that you would actually plug into the TV with the different cords there, and it's actually a Toy Story Mania game, which I'm gonna have to research exactly what this game was like, because maybe one day if I come back here soon, then maybe I actually pick this up and attempt to play this. Alright, so at the next booth, which is across from this Wicked train display that you're currently viewing right now, I do notice some WWE items like this United States Championship belt buckle, which I remember seeing these in stores many years ago. Some sealed figures of Tajiri as well as Albert, which is pretty cool to see. And we got some loose figures. An Edge figure right here, which look at that head scan. And then right across from it, we actually do have a loose Funko Pop bin. The first one we have here, I believe, is Van Gogh, if I'm not mistaken. I can't tell who this is, but at a cheap price and possibly getting this head mold to officially finally make that Matthew Mounty Funko Pop I've been wanting to do for a while, this could be a very nice head mold that resembles me. And then definitely something I may have to look at later, because I may actually want to get these, are some Diet Pepsi memorabilia with the glasses, which is actually pretty cool because I do have a little bit of a Pepsi collection at home. Alright, so we are at the Cool Toy Cars booth, and the first thing I notice are some Mario Kart die casts. I see one of Mario right there in a cool little outfit. There's also Dry Bones right here, which is pretty sweet. More variants of Mario, Luigi, Peach. We got some X-Men and Batman stuff, DC Comics, Star Wars related die-casts. And then along this wall there are some various die-casts. One that stood out to me is this Cherry Coke truck, which I thought was pretty cool. We got some loose cars here, including Yoshi with the go-kart, and then we also do have a Lightning McQueen, but one of the packaged ones that stood out to me is this Simpsons one for $10, where he's got the green car. Can't remember where exactly it's from, but it's really cool.
Shout out goes to Sentinel107 and Duh Unacceptable Viewer. And the reason that they ended up getting a shout out is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shout out, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and shorts that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video.
So the next booth we are at is the Bricks Niagara booth, and right now I'm looking at various different sets like the Super Mario one, as well as some minifigures like D&D and Marvel. I did notice here some Disney ones, including one from the Lightyear movie that has a little minifigure of Buzz Lightyear, as well as a big figure of Zurg. And then there are some Harry Potter sets, the Lego Creator, there's also some Marvel sets, including this Green Goblin, some Infinity Saga, some Jurassic Park right there, and the Batman. And then there's also a display of Funko Pops right here, including the Buzz Lightyear with socks, which I do have, the C-3PO, some Star Wars ones, various Marvel ones down here as well, a Clone Wars Yoda, a Boba Fett with the black box, there's some What If ones right here, Civil War, more Disney, the New York Comic Con exclusive Britney Spears, and then I thought I would show off once again this mechanical train that is made of Legos that's roaming around here. Always love seeing this display here. So right now we are actually at a Pokemon booth, and right now we are looking at some graded cards. The one we were just looking at is this Squirtle one right here. Right there is a Houndoom. I did notice, I believe, some sort of Mewtwo one right there. And then right there we do have a 2014 Charizard. And then I noticed some non-Pokemon cards like this Yoda right here, but then there's also a Stephanie McMahon card, which I find to be very hilarious that I find a wrestling card here.
Alrighty guys, so I am back from the flea market, and it was a blast being there for the first time in a long time. But for anything that I had purchased today, I actually, unfortunately, did not purchase anything. There weren't really any pops that I wanted. There weren't really much of anything that I really wanted to purchase. So I thought to end off this video before you guys decide to leave, that I thought I would finally open up these small soldiers trading card packs that I bought a few months back at Fan Expo Canada. So what are we waiting for? Let's open up some of these packs.
Alright, so we have these small soldiers packs here, which we have a total of 5, but we're not going to open up all 5 of them because I think I'm going to keep one sealed. A couple of them I'm going to use for shorts videos so that we can promote the upcoming factory sealed box we recently purchased that we're going to be opening up in a separate video. And I think this back one is the one I'm going to keep sealed because this is the one that's in the more like mint condition. While you can see with a lot of these other packs, they're kind of really fading when it comes to the color. You can actually see part of the tattoo card that is guaranteed in every pack. I'm going to go the middle two are the ones I'm going to be opening for this specific video today. Those other 2 will be for shorts. So for this, we do have a total of 8 cards, one of them being a tattoo card. Actually, I think it is a tattoo card being a separate. So a total of 9 cards. I guess it doesn't matter which one I open first. So let's open this up. First up, we do have the tattoo card of this set, which looks to be, let's put this horizontally, that is a Kip Killigan and Link Static tattoo card. So that's pretty cool to see. But let's see what the very first card we got here. And these are all based off of like scenes in the movie. So we got ourselves one of Frankenstein right here, which is pretty cool to see. The following card after that is Major Chip Hazard, and I believe this is actually the beginning of like the office scene where they're presenting. We got a card right here of Slam Fist when he's still in the box before the Commando Elite destroy the store. We got a character card here of Brick Bazooka for the Commando Elite. Then we got ourselves what looks to be another card of Frankenstein, which is pretty cool to see. I love that design. Then we got ourselves, this is pretty cool, this is where Larry and, why am I drawing a blank on the name? Stupid memory I have. They're entering the facility where the microprocessing chips are made. And then we got ourselves right here, near like the climax of the movie, I guess, where they do have that big bicycle that shoots out. I believe it's like the staple guns. And then the final card we have here is a Major Chip Hazard, where he's actually like battle damage at this point. And for the most part, these are all base cards. You can actually see on the top right corner of the exact numbers. So this is definitely going to be something. Oh, this one's actually number 2. Number 1 actually, I believe, is a poster card. It's like the front of the Small Soldiers like movie cover, and I'm actually glad that we got that. Number 32,
Then we got, okay, so this one says the Inventors, number 89. It is 90 in the base set. So there's number 53. It's actually my favorite number. And then number 68. And then let's open up this final pack of Small Soldiers card. There actually is a chance at autographed redemptions for this set that came out in 1998. So maybe we might actually get an autographed card. Let's flip this over because we know that the first card is a tattoo card, which it looks like the tattoo card we have here is Butch Meathook and Nick Nitro. That's pretty cool. Let's put that aside. This card we already got in that other pack we opened, so this is basically the first duplicate card we have here. This is also another duplicate. Oh, I'm not really liking how this pack is so far. Oh my god. Is this actually like a full-on duplicate pack? Oh my god. Don't tell me that this is like exactly all the same. Oh my god, guys. I think this is exactly the same cards in every pack. No! No, we had... Oh my... Is it... Oh my... Okay. I think out of this entire pack, this is the only non-duplicate card that we got. Ooh, that's a little rough. That's what she said. I obviously had a fun time opening up these because I've been waiting so long to actually open these up and saving them for a rainy day when I didn't end up purchasing anything during a pop hunt or a collectibles hunt in this case as well. But yeah, that's basically all we have. It's duplicate cards besides the one that ended off that pack. And I guess the tattoo cards are different as well.